So a lot of the videos out of New York City has been just horrible. The NYPD is literally waging a all-out war against black people. And they're being so blatant with it, it literally looks like apartheid South Africa, where white people are just doing whatever they want and enjoying themselves. And across the way, black folks are getting their butts kicked. These videos have been coming out every day. And it's become so bad, and the calls have definitely came out across the country and different parts of the world, making New York City look very, very bad. You know, you can't talk about China and what they done to the Africans, and you're not going to say anything about what the New York Police Department is doing to black people. Okay. And they're starting to get that word, so much so that the district attorneys in New York City are vowing not to prosecute any social distancing arrests. That way it would neuter the NYPD on the crackdown on crowds that refuse to disperse. So the prosecutors in Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens announced their decision after a week of violent confrontations between cops and New Yorkers. And let's say black New Yorkers. Make sure we put that out there, because I don't see a bunch of white folks dealing with this problem, or Asian folks either. So they were saying Staten Island had no pending arrests. But the Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz said that nobody wants a health crisis to turn into a criminal justice crisis. And we're committed to non-discriminatory and even-handed enforcement, because everyone knows it's not being even-handed. It's literally looking like apartheid South Africa. Now, the Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark said, why should anybody get a criminal record for this? Okay. So the police union, if you know that guy, Patrick Lynch, he's come out many times before saying there's absolutely no reason for police officers to be involved in social distancing enforcement, especially if the district attorneys won't prosecute them. He said they're just wasting their time. He said we're unnecessarily jeopardizing our health and careers. I agree with Patrick Lynch on that. Leave people alone. Just leave them alone. Matter of fact, treat them how you treated the Jewish community when that rabbi died. Just treat black people the exact way how you treated the Jewish community. Just do that. Treat black people how you treat white people. I mean, then everybody be okay. That means you'll be even in your enforcement, and no one will say a word about you. So the mayor's office has been receiving a lot of complaints, a lot of comments. And once again, white supremacy trumps even if you are married to a black person. This is why I say that. Bill de Blasio has a black wife. They have a son as well. And yet he should be the biggest champion against police brutality or racism, etc. And de Blasio was not stopping any of this until all the videos start coming out and people start saying something, okay? So they said between March 16th and May 5th, they had nearly 400 summonses for social distancing violations. At least 120 people were arrested in the same period, okay? So out of a lot of the arrests, the majority of them were black people. So when they started to say, okay, let's pull back, then they say, okay, well, we can't prosecute them for social distancing. So now let's move it to resisting arrest, drug possession, and altercation caused by jumping a line while waiting at a supermarket. See, they just trying to do whatever they can to criminalize and put black people in jail, okay? So they said that on Tuesday, they had 125 arrests through May the 10th. And the racial breakdown was 66.4% black, 24% Hispanic, 7.2% white, and 2.4% Asian. And yet they get a whole hotline? 2.4%, and they get a whole hotline. Letitia James, Attorney General, New York. What's the hotline for black people? I think the people of New York, black people, you need to be calling Letitia James and say, hey, where's our hotline to be reporting police brutality? You sure had a hotline for the Asians when people calling them a name. So we need the hotline for police brutality. Are you going to start prosecuting these cops? So people kept asking the mayor, hey, you're not going to do nothing about this? We keep noticing that your cops are literally going after black people. He's saying that he's asking them to not do as much as they're doing. But you know what? the district attorneys is really the ones that will take the teeth out of that. Because if they don't prosecute, then what they're going to do? They have to let them out of jail. Now, they're saying politicians and community activists were upset about figures that came out last week saying that 68% of those arrested were black, 24% was Latino percent, and only 7% were white. Well, we seen the pictures, okay? We seen how literally they're trying to turn New York City into apartheid South Africa. But you can't let them do that, brothers and sisters that's in that city. You can't let them do it. You got to take a stand. You got to get at them politically. And also you have to take a stand for your rights in the streets. Social distancing isn't a law on the books. It's a recommendation for health, but it isn't solidified as a law. And you're not enforcing that with everybody. I believe lawsuits need to be filed behind social distancing as well, especially in New York, because we literally watching pictures and video of you not telling white people anything, but then we got pictures and video of you beating up black people and arresting them. Then that's discriminatory, and laws need to be enforced on discrimination for sure. So I believe people need to sue the city of New York for wrongful arrest and discrimination, period. But that's all they understand at the end of the day anyway, because they were not actively enforcing this on everybody. It's purely racism, purely anti-black hatred and anti-black terrorism, literally. All under the guise of social distancing. This is their new version of stop and frisk. That's what that is. Remember, New York was stop and frisk when it was harassing black people constantly. I wasn't doing anything wrong. Well, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the story out of New York that the district attorneys say they're not going to prosecute this, but they're trying their best just to lock up black people, and black people definitely have to take a stand.